To expand on this a bit more further, we're now joined by crime expert and research associate at the University of Johannesburg, Calvin Rafadi, and he joins us now via our video link. Calvin, thank you so much for your time here in SABC News. Maybe let's take a step back and start off here, with the police minister saying that the families of slain police officers won't be left destitute. Before this trust, was brought up and it came into effect, how did it impact families when, the sole breadwinner, some instances, police officers died in the line of duty?
Good evening and good evening to your viewers. Yeah, we welcome this initiative. It's a good move, and we are very happy that it's even helping the family in terms of fulfilling those duties for the kids to go back to school. Now, we attended, the commemoration of some of this particular devastating or worrying, event at the Union Building, and the kids were so miserable. And, this is the way and a good effort to comfort those families. But even in the past, there was some psychological, social worker support. But, helping the kids to go to the school now, we welcome that move.
And was this raised by families before that, many were struggling to send children to school, and hence why we find ourselves with this trust today?
Yes, definitely. It was raised by the family. Like we say, there were psychologists that constantly from SAPS visiting the families and social workers. And indeed, this was one of the initiatives that, the families, they've been raising. But at the same time, we also, kindly urge the minister and, the presidency to look into also supporting those who died, the CPF, the community police forums. Because most of them also, they lose their life whilst they are in the forefront, helping the police or looking after the safety of our community. So we want them as well to be part of this.
And how, are families assisted? I know that you've pointed out issues around psychological support and, therapy. But when it comes to, this education trust, how are families supported, and what does the process look like for a family to obtain, some sort of, cash injection to ensure that their children do get the necessary education that they need, regardless of their parents not being in existence anymore?
Yes, there is a database of all those that have lost their lives in line of duty in the SAPS. And then, those kids that have applied into, certain institutions, colleges and universities, the database is there, and then they are given this particular support. So there is a form, and they are given first preference to do the application. And most of the money is then channeled to those institutions for the kids to do well at school and complete their studies.
How important is this trust, to families and to the South African Police Service?
No, it is we welcome the move, and it's a bit of a relief to the families in terms of emotional support, and for the kids also to live that legacy that their parents wished their kids to live upon. And, it's also, good for the SAPS, for other members to see that indeed the organization that they are working for, there is that good support. But again, we want to also take the opportunity to say the criminals who are, fighting back at the police, evading arrest, first of all, killing a detective who's handling your docket. Dockets are digitized. So if you kill a particular police officer, the docket will then be allocated to a different police officer. So, it doesn't make sense for one to take a firearm and go and kill a police officer. And then, again, we urge our SAPS members, whenever they go and on a call out to respond, wear your bulletproof vest. And there are situations whereby now you need to call in tactical unit, you call 1011, you call for backup, you call, POPs, your public order policing. They are trained to go in the forefront. And we also seen a pattern whereby when they even respond to housebreakings, they are confronted because of the criminals who commit housebreaking. They are also heavily armed. That's why if they find somebody in the house, they take out guns and start robbing them. Then it's converted to a house robbery. So whenever they, go and respond, they need to have proper clothing and proper backup for that matter.
And earlier on, I mean, you spoke about as much as we're seeing police being supported, you also spoke about CPF being supported. How important is it to also recognize, the efforts of the CPF?
No, with the CPF, it's a very crucial industry that they are playing. And most of them, I mean, their information is there on the data. And then because they are in the forefront, they are faced with these criminalities, I mean, and looking after the safety of our communities. So criminals, they end up targeting them as well, at their households or whilst they are on duty. So that's why we're calling upon that, the ministry should also, look into supporting those CPF members because they are doing a great job. They are the eyes and ears of the police on the ground.
All right, Calvin, thank you so much for your time there. That is Calvin Rafadi. He is a crime expert, also a research associate at the University of Johannesburg, saying that, of course, he's welcoming efforts being made to support families of slain police officers through this education trust, but at the same time, also raising an alarm and highlighting the needs to assist members of the CPF.